Hey guys, how's it going? Well, we've started to get the new bright Jeep body set up on my HSP Ghost frame, which has actually got the Night/Igniter tires on it. Anyway, I've got the holes drilled in the back and the clips fit. That's all good. I actually had to remove the back seat just because of where the holes had to go. So what I'm going to do is actually modify the back of the seat so that I can put the back seat in, and I'm going to have to use Velcro or something underneath it, but this way at least the back seat can go back in. Otherwise, I had another idea that I may do yet, to make like a kind of like a rug, I guess, back in here, and it'll cover over stuff, and just to make it look better without having the back seat in. So I'm working on some ideas for that yet. Anyway, as far as the rest of it goes, I just spent the last couple hours getting the stickers off that I could get off, which is everything but the new bright on the windshield, and we still have the Jeep sticker on the back end, so that's still there because I wanted the Jeep there, and the new bright thing I couldn't get it off, so I didn't worry about it. But all the other new bright stickers are actually off of this body, so they're done and gone. And I think I got pretty much most of the sticky stuff off too, about 95%. I got a little bit more I can get off yet. What I did actually to get the stickers off was you just peel up some edges on the stickers and then soak a J-cloth, is what I actually used, in isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and just push it on there and then let it lay there all bunged up for about 20 minutes to a half an hour at a time, and that actually pulls the sticker off really well, including residue with it. And then you can do final cleanup, getting the residue off with the alcohol, and it's a little bit of rubbing, but the alcohol is not going to hurt any of the paint that is on the thing. Mind you, the red is not even paint. The black probably is painted, but it didn't scratch any of it or hurt any of it, which is fine. So that's all good to go. So next thing I got to do, I've got some shaft material. This is actually a boat shaft out of a Litehawk Challenger boat that I used to have, and it actually fits the top mount holes, or posts actually, perfectly. Now it's a steel tube, so I'm not going to be able to drill it, but I can JB weld it, and it'll be fine. It's going to hold nice and secure. I'll probably do the O-ring thing on the top with this one, same as I did with my other truck. It's convenient, and the O-rings hold up, and it doesn't slip because you use really tight O-rings, and it'll keep the lid down fine. But I'm going to have to JB weld this for sure in order to keep that all in place. Now the one nice thing about this is I don't have to worry about heights, because the way the body is cut here, in between, the shafts are on the inside here. It rests actually up against that at a perfect height already, so I don't have to worry about trying to put an O-ring and a washer down below like I had to do on my Baja Extreme body on my Litehawk Brute. So this is just going to sit right nice, so when I put the O-rings down, snug them up, and it's all going to be nice and secure, pre-leveled already, just like you've seen it with the body on there. It just goes on really nice, and so it already sits at all the proper heights, which works out good. So anyways, we'll come back on the next segment once we get the holes drilled through the hood and get our shafts cut, and then we'll make sure that we've got the lengths we need and then see how much we're going to have to cut off as excess, and get those all on there, JB welded up, and then this project will be completed, other than a little test drive, see how it looks up and running. But otherwise, we'll see you really soon on the next piece. Okay guys, welcome to the next part. We've got the vehicle upside down here, and we've got to take our best eyeballing guess at where we're going to drill the holes in the hood of the Jeep for our shafts to go through. And I came up with an idea that I'm going to try, it might work, for the body clips. Instead of putting O-rings, I should be able to use the actual clips itself. With the pipe, I can actually take a needle cutter file and actually cut a groove into the pipe. So once I get these pipes made and installed so that they stay on the posts, I'm going to mark a spot on each one as close as I can to the hood, and then I'm going to cut a groove into the pipe about part way in, and that's going to allow me to actually use the clips, which I think is actually a pretty good mod. And if it works out, I might even go back to my Baja Extreme and do the same thing and get rid of that O-ring stuff. So anyways, so what we got to do here is we've got to figure out exactly where we're going to be able to drill the holes into the hood. So I'm kind of eyeballing, because the way these things spread out on a bit of an angle, and I got to make sure everything here stays centered as possible. So we'll just make a little shift here, bit of a correction, right about in there should work well. That looks like it's pretty well centered. So, right there. Now I'm going to get my calipers. Just bear with me here. Considering this is my second mod like this, it's turning out really well. I'm actually getting used to this rather quickly. That back a little bit. That looks like it's in the right spot there. So just lock down the caliper there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this nail polish, which I can get off real easy later. Because what I want to do is go top side. So I want to get this even on here. What I'm doing is I'm taking the flat portion of this and putting it right under the pin. And then I'm going to mark my caliper spot, so that I know I don't go past a certain point. Now, I'm going to let that dry for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back, flip it over, and line up where we're going to drill our hole. We'll get our first one drilled, and then go do the second one. Okay, so what we've done, I was going to do it from top side, but it's really hard to get a measurement properly, because you have to kind of still try and get it even right, and that ain't gonna work. So what I did was I took the vehicle off the body, and I lined up right in here where my mark is, And then I took a pretty good eyeball guess where it was. And then I put a dab of nail polish in, and I was actually in a little bit. So what I did next, so that you see how this happens, just pop that clip onto there. Get it on there, you stupid thing. Okay, put the body back on to the truck. And then I went in, I eyeballed it, and I was pretty much bang on, and then I tilt it to see where it's gonna go. So I actually had to move my dot just a little further back. So when I start drilling this hole here, okay, where you see the nail polish in there, I'm gonna go towards the outside of that hole, and I'm gonna actually start with just a small fine drill bit. I'm not gonna try it all in one big chunk because it's a bit of a concave area. You know, it's got the little bend in it there. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill that next, but I'm actually going to have to get my wife to help with this because she's going to have to hold the body steady, probably on an angle like this, while I do this, because I can't do all this freehand. So I'll get her help, and then we'll be back, and we'll get that hole drilled with a small pilot drill. Then we'll go to our full-size hole, and then we can go to the other side and just line everything up, and we'll be able to drill the next hole. So we'll be back shortly. Okay guys, so we've got our marking done on the one side for now, and we're going to start with a small pilot hole just because it's a lot easier, and I'm going to line it up. Now I use a manual drill for this because it's a lot easier to deal with. So you got to hold it as straight as possible, and I just like to wiggle back and forth. This helps making an indent, and then voila, we're through. So now we can go to this side. And we're going to switch up to our bigger drill. And I've got a piece of the pipe left over, so I can size up the drill. And that looks like it should do the trick. And now I can drill from this side. These manual hand drills, even though they're ancient, they allow for a lot easier than a cordless is, because you can control your speed and you can go back and forth real easy. So, voila, nice fit. It doesn't have a whole lot of slop. It's a pretty good cut. So, we're going to go do the other side off camera, and then we'll put the body on the car, show you what it's going to look like, and then we're going to show you how to mark where we're going to mark for our slots that we're going to cut in the pipes. And then once we get the slots cut in, we're going to go just a little bit above each one, just to still have some posts stick out, and then we can put our body clips on and off on the top end on this one instead of doing that O-ring trick again. But that's side number one. So side number two, we got to do the same sort of process. Unless I can find a way to cheat this while I'm on camera, I can show you. So let's go to the front of the hood, and we're going to go just off center of the headlight, and we should be about there. And we'll do the same thing over in this area, and that should end up being a good setup. So we'll get that done. Anyway, so be right back. Okay guys, so we got the other hole drilled and I'm out by just a little bit. I'm a little bit forward to the front end. Not by a whole lot though. It's about, I'd say roughly about 1/8 of an inch, which it's not perfect. It's really hard with this kind of a body to get it exactly and precisely the same. And I kind of free-handed this one a little bit. I'm actually a little bit more this way and a little bit this way, but that's okay. The nice thing about this kind of a mounting tower that these pipes are on is it can handle a little bit of movement, and it didn't actually take the body off center really. It still looks really good on there, so it's not too bad. But I mean, this is my second vehicle I've done this with, and you know, you get better as you go. I mean, we all start out new somewhere, and you know, down the line we'll come up with better and better ideas for, you know, doing this sort of a, you know, measurement deal and drill deal, and that's just the way it goes. So I mean, even though I'm out a little bit, I'm still really happy with how that turned out. And at least it didn't really shift anything, because it really can't shift anything anyway, just because of the undercarriage pieces I left there for side movement support. Only the pipes get to move a little bit, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. So now the next part is we gotta get ourselves a marker of some sort, and we're gonna have to mark where we're gonna cut our lines into the pipe for our body clips. So let me just see if I can grab myself a Sharpie marker. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got our Sharpie marker, and now what we're going to do is just mark on each pipe where we're going to want the body clip. And I'm going to have to cut right on that line. Now, because there's going to be a little difference between each side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this pipe here. Actually, you know what? I'll make it a better mark. I'm going to take some nail polish for this pipe, and then I'm just going to put a little mark on my fender, so I know that that pipe comes off that side. So, and then just as a little reminder notification, grab ourselves some paper. Pipe with polish. Front will be my left. Front of the truck facing me is the left. So, front left. Okay guys, we got our slots cut, we got our body clips on, and looks alright. And so that's gonna keep our canopy on good. So the next thing we gotta do is cut these shafts down a lot shorter. So out comes the Sharpie pen again, and I have to put something under there, I think. So I'm going to leave about, say, that much. About like that. So that ought to leave just a little bit of a top post over each side. That'll work really well. And so then I'll take the pieces off here next. I think I'm going to need some like 110 or maybe even bigger clips. But I still have this one side I have to be a little concerned about. It's the different angle attack because of the being out by a little bit. So now we're going to move our nail polish mark, whoops, to this pipe here. So that'll be the pipe. We know where that's going to go. Yeah, so I have to hold on to that for a second. Voila, that comes out of there. So next thing we gotta do is cut it here, and then I'll clean up the top edges so that it doesn't have any sharp edging to it at all. And then we can get this thing cleaned up and get the nail polish off of here and off of this fender, and voila, we'll be finished this project, and we'll give her a little drive around the house for you. We'll be right back. Okay guys, the shafts are all cut and trimmed down to where they need to be, and so only a little bit sticking out. Got enough room to put my clips in, no problem. It'll hold the body all secure. So next thing I got to do is JB weld these shafts onto the holder. Okay, so they get JB welded onto here, and I've also got all my nail polishing marks cleaned off of the Jeep body. So I'll clean the nail polish off of this shaft actually just before I weld it into place with the JB stuff. But like I said before, I'm not worried about this piece in here if it ever does break on me, which is very unlikely, but if it does, I can replace it and always, you know, take these out and drill out the JB weld and reuse the same shafts on a new. Okay guys, so the JB weld's on and it's setting up. It's going to take about roughly 40 minutes. This stuff is actually the JB Weld Quick, or JB Quick Weld. Same as the JB Weld, but much quicker activating. The regular JB Weld takes like 8 hours. It really takes 24. This stuff, 6 hours. It's harder than steel. Within, you know, less than an hour, no problem, sets up, play and have fun. Depending on what you're doing though. So next little job I got to do while I'm waiting for that is I have to shorten my antenna pole to about half of what it is now, which is still going to be fine, and then it'll still allow the antenna to, you know, not get messed around with anything, then we can take this thing for a little spin soon. So we'll be back when it's time to do that. Okay guys, so we're gonna give the new Jeep HSP a little drive around the house here for you, just so you see what kind of profiling it has, as you know, being a Jeep body on a 4x4. But now the only thing I haven't done yet is either put the back seat back in, which I'm working on an idea that should work. If it does, awesome. If not, then I'll figure out some way to put a black carpet type thing where the back seats are going to go, and it'll actually hide everything except for the clips, of course, so I'll be able to have access to those. But anyway, so let's give this thing a little tour around the house. Climb over pillows real easy. Yeah, let's throw something else in the way for it. I'm not going to attempt to use this as a crawler because I know it's not going to take it, but and take a hit. Definitely is not a crawler. Need a real crawler for that. There we go, a little jump for it. Anyway, so I think I like this Jeep body. It's going to look really cool once I get her out on the street. It'll look pretty nice running out there and around the yard, that sort of thing. But I think I like my HSP Ghost now a lot better with the Jeep body, and I've got igniter / HSP Night tires on it, so it's not really a Ghost anymore, but you know, hey, these tires are a lot better than the Truggy tires that came with it, same as the body shell. And I still have my Litehawk igniter body shell, but I really like this a lot better. I think it looks kind of cool. So, anyways, that's what we got for you. Oh, looks like I lost a clip. One of my clips popped out somewhere on the floor. I guess I'm going to have to find something a little bit different than those HSP clips. So, I kind of thought I might lose a clip. I wasn't sure, but looks like I did. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.